Hi and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nurul Asyiqin binti Muhamad. My metric number is 2022736681. In this video, I would like to review about the Railway Children movie. Stay tuned. First of all, let me tell you about the synopsis of the movie. This is a story of three children, Roberta, Phyllis, and Peter, who live in respectable suburban villa in London with a wonderful mother, father, a cook, and also a servant, until a great disgrace and poverty befall them one day. Father is taken away to prison, but they do not know this at first, and they have to move to a poor cottage in the country near a railway line. Mother writes a story to earn money, and they get used to being poor. They make many new friends, and a music adventure happen near the railway. They make friends with Mr. Perk, who teach them about many things about a train. Since Mr. Perk is nice to all the neighbors, they decide to collect the presents from the neighborhood during Mr. Perk's birthday. Before I go further in this discussion, for your information, this movie was based on the novel titled The Railway Children. The author for this novel is Edison Speed. This movie is directed by Catherine Morshed, who is British television director. Next, I would like to introduce the main lead in this movie. The first child is Roberta, or also known as Bobby, who has responsibility to take care of her mother and sibling during the father's absence. The second child is Peter, and lastly, Phyllis. The first issue identified is one day, while exploring the railway tracks, Peter noticed a coal wagon passing slowly and left the coal behind. Peter triggered to steal some of the coal, since his mother said they were too poor to buy coal. When the opportunity arises, Peter hooks onto the coal and begins filling a sack with coal. However, his excitedness does not go unnoticed and got caught by station master and Mr. Perks. At first, Peter thought that it is okay to take some of the coal since they needed it to burn the fire, and he did not take much. The station master advised to Peter that stealing is still stealing. Mr. Perks backed Peter up because he understands Peter's conditions and asked the station master to let him go. The station master warns Peter not to steal next time.
Tell that to the Marines. Come on to the station.
No, not the police station.
You were that boy from Three Chimneys, aren't you? Is there anyone else in your gang?
No, honestly, I promise. Only us. Oh.
Right. Look at you. So nicely dressed and all. Haven't you been to church? Don't you know it's wrong to steal?
I didn't think it was stealing. I only took it from the middle of the heap so it counts as mining. It'll take you thousands of years to burn up all that coal.
Not quite. Poorer folks scrimp and save for coal. You lot can afford it. But you think it's yours by right.
No! At our other house, we always used to have fires when it was cold. Now Mother says we're too poor to have a fire now.
Peter, don't. They actually had to sell all their furniture.
Thank you for your contribution, Mr. Perks.
Highly welcome.
Well, perhaps I was a bit harsh. But remember, stealing is stealing wherever you do it. I'll overlook it this time. Now, get along home.
Thank you.
What is the theory that relates to this issue? The theory related to this issue is classical conditioning, developed by Ivan Pavlov. Definition of classical conditioning is a type of learning in which an organism learns to connect or associate with stimuli. There are four types of classical conditioning. Unconditioned stimulus, or US, automatically produce a response without learning. Secondly, unconditional response or UR is an unlearned response that spontaneously makes a response. The third one is a classical stimulus or CS is a neutral stimulus elicit a conditioned response after being associated with an unconditioned stimulus. Lastly, conditioned response or CR is a learned response to the conditioned stimulus that occur after unconditioned and conditioned stimulus pairing. It is known as the pairing of US and CS. Next, we go to the application of theory. There are only two types of classical conditioning that we use in this issue. Firstly, unconditioned stimulus or known as US represent the desire for cool due to economic reasons. For example, the children ask the mother to burn the fire since it is cold in their house. Unfortunately, the mother did not allow the children to have a fire since they are too poor to buy coal. So the mother asked them to wear layers of clothes to keep them warm. Secondly, unconditional response happens when there is an unconditioned stimulus. The response that happens is the act of stealing coal. For example, Peter go to the railway track to take some coal from there. At first, Peter thought that it is okay to take the coal because he did not take much. He got caught by the station master. Peter explained to the station master why he takes some of the coal. The station master advised him not to steal again next time and let him go. Peter realized from his mistake and promised not to do it again. In short, the desire of Peter to have coal to burn a fire due to economic reason triggered him to steal some of the coal. Next, what is the solution to the issue that happened? The positive reinforcement happened in this issue because the station master advised Peter not to steal and Peter realized his mistake and promised not to do it again next time. Positive reinforcement is the frequency of a response increased because it is allowed by rewarding stimulus. This shows that giving advice to Peter can reduce undesired behavior from Peter, which act of stealing. The behavior changes someone to be a good person. The effect from this reinforcement is Peter will not repeat the same mistake and promise not to do it again. He asks for forgiveness to the station master. Maybe Peter will find another initiative to get coal next time. Next, the second issue identified in this movie is that one day, while the children are at the railway station, they witness a distressing event as the train passes by. They notice a passenger on the train making urgent hand signal and attempting to draw attention to emergency situation. Other than that, Peter is also curious about the number in front of the train. Out of curiosity, the children ask about this question to Mr. Perks. Mr. Perks, being knowledgeable and experienced in his role, warmly engaged with the children and explained to them using his own words.
Casually the sign for the emergency cord in the train. Stop it dead off. £2, 10 shillings fine for improper use.
Well, what counts as proper use?
You know, being murdered more or less. You know, there was this old woman once, and somebody kidded her on that the emergency cord was actually a refreshment room bell. So she got up, she pulled the cord, the train stopped, the guard rushed in and she said, "Oh, there you are. I'll have a glass of stout and a pork pie, please."
Why do all the trains have numbers on the front?
That's so as we'll know which one's which. I actually knew a young gent once that took down all the numbers of all the trains he ever saw and he wrote them in a notebook.
Why did he do that?
Nobody knows.
The theory that is suitable for the scene is Vygotsky theory. This theory is developed by Vygotsky. The theory is about zone proximal development or known as ZPD. This theory states that the term for the range of tasks that are too difficult for the child to master alone but can be learned with the guidance and assistance from adults or more skilled children. In short, ZPD is about how the children gain knowledge with the guidance from a knowledgeable or more experienced elder. The elders or knowledgeable person need to adjust their way of deliver the knowledge suitable with the targeted audience. This is because we want the targeted audience understand knowledge from the elders Next, how this theory can apply to this issue. Firstly, Mr. Park as a knowledgeable adult or mentor to the children. Meanwhile, Peter, Bobby, and Phyllis as ignorant children. The reason why Mr. Park is a mentor to the children is because he as a knowledgeable adult who know everything about the railway system. He works at the railway station for many years and gained more experience throughout the years. The three children as ignorant children because they do not know anything about the railway system since they just moved from London. Everything that did not know about the train or the railway system, they will ask to Mr. Perks. For example, Bobby asked to Mr. Perks about what happened in the train when there is someone make hand signal. Mr. Perks answered that is one of the way to let anyone outside the train know about the emergency happened in the train. He also explained in detail how to use card in the train during emergency. Other than that, Peter asked Mr. Perks why each train has number in front of them. Mr. Perks told that is because we will know which one of the trains. Mr. Perk also told that there is someone always write the number for each train pass by, and he also do not know why it happened to that person. As you guys can see, Mr. Perk explained for every question in detail and using a simple words so that the children can understand about what he want to deliver. So this is suitable for ZPD theory, which means that Mr. Perk give guidance to the children to understand more about the railway system. The solution to this issue. The positive reinforcement in this issue is the children become more knowledgeable. This is because as a result of they understand about what Mr. Perks explained about the railway system, they gain more knowledge about the train. Their behavior also changed by interest more about train after this. Other than that, the positive reinforcement is the children will have a sense of social responsibility. This is because they understand about emergency case happen in the train and know how to help them after this. For example, the children know how to help the train during the landslide accidents. Next, the last issue identified is when the children see a landslide on the railway track and they decide to do something or the train will crash. It's because they cannot clear the train before the 11:29 passes through. Peter quickly asked for something red to give a warning to the train. Without thinking long, Bobby and Phyllis take out their petticoat to make red flags. They wave their red flag to signal the train. Bobby even ran onto the line and waved her flags to stop the train. In the end, they managed to stop the train, but the train only stopped 20 meters from Bobby.
That'll take some clearing up.
It's right across the line. The 11:29 down hasn't gone by yet. We must let them know at the station or there'll be a terrible accident.
Run!
Wait! Come back! There's no time!
We should wave at the train to stop it.
They'll just think it's us waving as we usually do. We need something red.
Let's take them off. Shut up! It doesn't matter, Phil. If we can't stop the train, there'll be a real accident with people smashed up and killed.
We need sticks to put the flags on! Stand firm and wave like mad! When the train gets round the corner, step back but keep on waving!
They can't see us, it won't work!
It's no good! Keep off the line!
Stop! Stop! Please, stop!
The theory that we use in this issue is Piaget 4 stages, but only the third stage is suitable with this issue. The third stage is a concrete operational stage. The child can now reason logically about concrete event and classify objects into different sets. This happens to children between 7 to 11 years old. This happens when the development of a neuron happens every day at this age. They trigger to know something by keeping ask questions. Myelination in brain area is important in focusing attention on children. The myelination is still developed and complete until 10 years old. It occurs in the brain frontal lobes, where reasoning and thinking occur. This helps the children in problem solving. Next, I will discuss about the application from this theory to the scenes. This stage tells about how child develop ability to engage in logical thinking. This stage falls to Bobby and Peter, who fall within this age. Bobby may age about 10 years old, while Peter may age about 8 years old. In this movie, they did not state the real age for them. The children may experience concrete operational thinking in several ways. The first way is the child may think about cause and effect from the landslide. This is because the child attempts to understand what cause and effect from the incidents. For example, Bobby and Peter understand cause and effect from the landslide. At this age, they can think whether something's happened can cause a big or small impact to them or to the others. At first, Bobby and Peter were shocked about the incidents and quickly respond that 11:29 train does not pass yet. So they think it might cause a big incident if they do not let the train know about it and stop it from the landslide. Secondly, both of them can analyze the cause sequence from the incident. The child may reflect about the consequence of the incident. For example, Bobby and Peter reflect on the consequence of a landslide on the train and people involved. Bobby says that there are many people on that train, so they need to stop the train to save them. Peter also analyzed the schedule of the train that did not pass yet. Thirdly, both of them develop a very quick actions to save the train. After they know the cause and effect of incident and analyze the consequence, they create a quick action spontaneously to solve the problem. For example, the children use petticoat to make red flag to signal the train about the landslide. After they saw what happened on the railway track, Peter asked about something red to warn the train about the incidents. Bobby quickly take out her red petticoat and same goes to Phyllis. Peter go to find the stick to make flags. They wave the red flag and realize that the train did not notice them. Without thinking long, Bobby ran to the middle of the railway line to warn the train from the landslide. Fortunately, the train stopped 20 meters from Bobby. From this, we can see that at their age, they can think logically what is good, bad, how it's happened, cause of the incident. Their quick action can save many people in the train. Next, the solution from this issue. Positive reinforcement happened in this scene where the head of the railway surgeon, Mr. Old Gentleman, reward them because of their quick action to save the train from the landslide. By giving reward to them, this can give motivation to them and the others to do a good at any time and everywhere. Even though the people on the train are strangers to the children, but they still can help them from the landslide. Lastly, the moral of the story is thinking before taking people things. Even though we do not intend to steal, we do not know what the others thinking about our actions. They might think that we want to steal their things. We always need to be careful with our actions. Next, we need to avoid being ignorant. This is because if we do not learn, we might lose our own way. We need to always be someone who always curious about something and ask to the elders about what we do not know. We also need to always have interest to know more about something beneficial to us. Lastly, we need to always take a quick action to save people's life. This is because our action can save the other's life. Even though we think that our help is small, but it really means it to the person who need our help. I think that is all from me. Thank you.